today I was just thinking about some of the ways that my military career kind of prepared me and didn't prepare me for becoming a mom. And so today I wanted to share a little bit about how the military helped me. And so today I'm just going to focus in on 3 ways that the military helped prepare me to become a mom. And then I think on my next video, it will be a 3 ways the military did not help me to prepare to become a mom. I was thinking about the whole idea of becoming a mom, and I was in the military when I became pregnant. I was at 18 years into my military career. And when I decided to become a mom, I knew that one of the things I wanted to do was to really give my kids all of me. I didn't know what all that entailed because I hadn't become a mom yet, but I did know that I wanted to give my kids as much of me as I could. And I knew being in the military wouldn't give me that ability. I wouldn't be able to be there for them in all of the ways that I wanted to. And that was challenging to do when I finally did get through my military career, finally got to become a full-time stay-at-home mom. It was challenging, but I will say there are 3 ways that the Air Force did prepare me for that transition from becoming a full-time active duty 18-year to 20-year veteran of the military. What 3 ways that career helped prepare me for motherhood. One of the ways I was thinking about is so silly, but it made me a very efficient packer. So while I was in the military, I was in a career field at the end where I traveled a lot. I did a lot of travel, moving cargo around the world, and I got efficient in packing in 2 ways. One, packing bags of our things, with the packing cubes, and like having just the list of packed items, knowing exactly what I needed to bring. I got really good at that, and that has really helped when it comes to planning, even just planning for leaving the house. Now I am really good at getting us out of the house efficiently. That took some practice because managing cargo versus managing 2 little humans, very different. But it did give me the ability to make getting out of the house much more efficient and find ways to get out of the house more efficiently. But the other way that it helps me, and this was pre-kids and now especially after having kids and having gear that stays in the car all the time, is being able to Tetris my way into the car when it comes to going on long road trips, when it comes to preparing for we have an RV now, preparing for our RV time. I am an excellent car packer as well. So that's one way that the military has helped me be better at being a mom, is my ability to efficiently get us out of the house, packed, ready to go regardless of what we're doing. Number 2, the military really helped me build my resilience in that I not only got obsessed with personal development and how our mindsets really shift and shape how we are experiencing the world, but I got to become something that was called a master resilience trainer. I was sent to a training that taught the skill sets, a lot of the commonly known skill sets from like positive psychology that really helped with resilience. And I got to take that to our brand new in the Air Force airmen who had just gotten to their first duty station. This was when I was in California. And I learned a lot of the skills that I hadn't come across. Some of them I was already familiar with, but given the ability to teach to somebody else, it really solidified it for me. And it was very, very helpful when it came to really processing a lot of what was happening internally for me when it came to like the postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum hormones, postpartum, all of the things that are happening within that are beyond our control as moms. And when I understood those skills more deeply, it helps me to do a lot of the processing. That is not to say that it is the way to do a lot of the processing, because there are very severe cases that I know, like looking back now, I know that with that postpartum anxiety, I probably should have gotten some kind of additional help for it. But I feel like everything is leveled out now, and I am going back and looking at the ways that postpartum anxiety really impacted where I was then and where I am now. And that I'm using a lot of still the skills of resilience. And then when it comes to, you know, just the day-to-day of what motherhood looks like, being resilient has been a saving grace for me when it comes to like not doubting myself in who I am. Like I said, the postpartum anxiety phase aside, like that creates a lot of doubt. But as I've come out of that fog of things, as I have really found myself again in this whole process of becoming a mom, I know that having resilience is a big, huge part of really being able to just find joy every day, being able to be content every day, and being able to not beat myself up when things don't go exactly how I had hoped they would go. We're starting our first official day of kindergarten with my homeschooler. And I have a plan. I spent a good chunk of yesterday kind of prepping everything, getting the plan laid out. I spent some time in my lesson planner and just getting everything kind of marked out for the week. And I have no idea if any of that is going to go to plan. But I also have the resilience to bounce back when things don't go to plan. And if they don't go to plan, then we go back to the drawing board and we take the lessons that got missed or shuffle the lessons around. But I know that it can be much more challenging if there is a lower resilience level when it comes to these day-to-day little bombs that get dropped throughout the day. We're going to call them little bombs that get dropped throughout the day. That's my military mindset coming out again. But yes, building up my resilience as my military career kind of went through all of those years, has definitely helped me when it came to being a mom. And I will say that number 3 is it improved my patience for stupidity. This is by no means to say that my kids are stupid or that my troops were stupid, but the amount of stupidity that comes with dealing with other humans. So let me explain this one a little bit. So I was a first sergeant. I wasn't officially a first sergeant, but I acted as a first sergeant. And a first sergeant is the person, I always explained it to people I was the liaison between military life and real life. Because when I was acting as first sergeant, I did it for a long time because my squadron didn't have one for a while. But we, as first sergeants, are constantly acting as like the go-between the go-between for what the military, the Air Force demands of its troops and what everyday life looks like, learning how to function in the real world on your own. And it gave me a lot of patience for the kinds of things that especially these younger airmen got into. But I dealt with airmen from brand new, just like I said, got to their first duty station, all the way up to, I didn't run into a whole lot of trouble when it came to my E7s, but I ran into quite a bit of trouble when it came to like E6 and below, just depending on the person. I had quite a few experiences when it came to like just stupid decisions, people just making bad decisions for their lives, for their careers. And when I was dealing with that, I had to have a lot of patience for just the process, teaching, like with the newer airmen, some of their mistakes were very silly, and like teaching them from a loving place. This is not the things that you should be doing. These are not the things you want to continue doing. Let's rethink some things for your future kind of conversations. And it was those conversations, the ones with the younger airmen, that really taught me how to handle a lot of the conversations with my kids. Like my kids are 5 and 3, and a lot of it, it's just mostly them doing things that are unsafe, and because they don't know any better, they're stupid. Stop doing that stupid thing. You're gonna hurt yourself. But as they get older, I know a lot of those conversations that I was having with those younger airmen, they're 18, 19, 20-year-olds that I'm having these conversations with. And, that's essentially a teenage brain still. And so I know that a lot of that skill set, having those conversations with them, will allow me to have much better and more effective conversations with my kids, especially when they get to that age of actual teenagers. Right now I have the 3-nager happening, and I don't know what the 5-year-old, the attitude, what we call the attitude problem with my 5-year-old, but it is definitely wearing my patience some days. And so I'm so grateful that I did have the opportunity while I was in the Air Force to act as a first sergeant, because it definitely increased my capacity for patience. And even still, as I became a mom, I saw how much work I still had to do when it came to being patient. So no matter what, like, I guess the last thing I'll share is like, regardless of what it looks like for you as a mom, there are always lessons to learn. Motherhood brings up all of the things, all of the unresolved things in our past, all of the unresolved thoughts in our brain. And, give yourself that patience, give yourself that grace to work through that. On my next video, I'll be sharing 3 ways that the military did not prepare me for motherhood. But until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.